Hey, this is Adam Huxema from ProjectionHub, and in this video, I'm just going to highlight a couple of the most common issues that clients have with our templates and just how to troubleshoot those items and work around them. So with that, let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so in particular, this use of startup funds graph is a common culprit for clients. So there's a couple possibilities of why this graph might not be working. Probably the most common is that you might have pulled the template into Google Sheets, and for whatever reason, Excel and Google Sheets just don't get along with this particular format of graph. And so what we typically tell clients is just, if you're working in Google Sheets and it's important to work in Google Sheets, just delete this graph. It's probably not worth it. But if it looks like it's broken, and you don't want to send that to potential investors and lenders, then probably the easiest thing to do is just delete it. Now, the graph is really just a visual representation of this table right here. So if you have the table working, just use this table in its place, and that should be fine for most scenarios. Now, you also have the possibility of building your own pie graph in Google Sheets. You could do that directly in Google Sheets. So if you'd like to do that and you're comfortable with Excel, you can always do that as well. I guess the final option would be just work in Excel if this particular graph is really important to you. So that's just a pesky thing with Excel and Google Sheets and going back and forth that we have common problems with. The other common problem with this graph is that it won't populate, but it's not because of a Google Sheets or Excel issue. It's because, based on the numbers that you have entered in, the business is not breaking even. So it's never reaching positive cash flow. And so, like I said, this graph is being pulled together based on the data that's in this table. And this table, what this table is aiming to do is to try to figure out how many months it's going to take for your business to break even. And then during that time where you're not break even yet, where the business is losing money, how are you going to spend your funds during that kind of startup phase before you break even? And then it's going to try to graph that, right? So it is possible that you have a business that, based on your projections, never breaks even. If that's the case, that's going to break this graph, right, in this table. It's not going to populate because there is no period of time prior to break even. The business just never breaks even. So we can see, as an example, if I were to, let's just add a really large expense. We'll just add this test here for 80%. So say this expense is 80%, and I think that will make it so that we never break even. Yep, so we have a loss every year here, and now you can see we just have this not applicable. We have errors. The graph doesn't populate because the business is not ever breaking even. You're losing money all throughout the 5 years. So that is another common problem. So hopefully, if you're running into issues with this graph, the video has been helpful in trying to troubleshoot those couple possible issues. Thanks.